This episode of Chrisley Confessions 2.0 is brought to you by Booking.com. Booking.com offers a wide array of hotels and vacation rentals across the U.S., so you can find exactly what you're looking for. There's something for everyone, even those who are impossible to please. Find exactly what you're booking for. Booking.com. Booking.yeah. Book today on the site or in the app.
Welcome to Chrisley Confessions 2.0. I am so excited about this episode. I'm very excited every week because I get to host with you, but this week I get to host with someone who I have been in a much longer relationship with than even my wife. I have Tracey Bregman from Young and the Restless. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes. Usually we're at lunch.
I know, right? We're normally having lunch together. That's right. But I wanted to touch on, when you and I first met and how our friendship has kind of, transitioned the way that it has.
I was Julie's gift to you for your birthday.
See, folks? See how things work out? Yes. Because I've watched you forever because my grandmother watched Young and the Restless, and then that's what we started watching. And the show is still airing, and it's one of the longest, if not, is it one of the longest? One
of the longest. I think Days is ahead of us. We last week had our 53rd anniversary of the show.
But you actually started on Days.
I did.
You actually, you actually started on Days back in the day.
When I was 14.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Well, you know that I'm a huge fan of you. I'm a huge fan of you, not just from Lauren Fenmore fan, but I'm an even bigger fan of Tracey Bregman because of the heart that you have and the compassion that you show, because you have a huge compassion for animals, but you also have a huge compassion for human beings and for your friend group.
Yes.
And so I am grateful to have you today, but I'm also grateful to have you in my life.
Same.
What some people may not know, and I know this is going to be shocking that this woman can have a grandchild, but you have a grandchild.
Yes, I actually have 5, but this is my first. So I have 4 from my stepdaughters.
Right.
And Isabella is my first from one of my sons.
And how much do you love?
Oh my God. I'm so obsessed with her. And the fact that I get her one day a week is the greatest gift of my life. And people know on the day that I have her, no one calls me because I don't answer the phone.
I love that.
And I think it's, obviously, I knew I was going to love her. I was obsessed with my own kids, and I'm not like a big baby person.
Right.
Like if there's a baby, I'm like, oh, look, there's a baby. I don't feel the need to hold it. I'm good just looking.
Right.
But with my own, I was totally obsessed. Loved them. And so lucky to have an extraordinary relationship with both of them and their significant others.
Right.
But this little girl has come into my life, and there's a difference. Like I was in my 20s when I had Austin. I was working 4 and 5 days a week. I was learning, 10, 20, 40 pages of dialogue a night. I wasn't sleeping at night. I didn't have a night nanny. I brought him to work. There was a lot of chaos, good chaos.
Right.
And I know I was present, but there's a difference. And even though I'm working like crazy now, I just shut the world out for her.
I love that.
I understand that because, since I took my sabbatical, I have learned to really disconnect, to step away.
It's a good thing, isn't it?
If it doesn't feed my soul, if it doesn't feed my spirit, and doesn't serve me, then I don't do it.
I had to actually cut myself off from social media. Like I have a time. I am not allowed to pick up the phone after 6 p.m.
Right.
Whatever time zone I'm in.
Well, Julie's got to learn to do that too.
It's hard because we get addicted.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Let's compare. We'll compare data and time on the phone.
But you can get lost doing things that don't feed your soul.
Mm-hmm. That's right. That's right.
We all have spiritual lives that do feed our soul, and
that's right.
Something else we could be doing.
That's exactly right. And I feel like that that kind of where Julie and I are at this place in our life, that there's a calmness that has surfaced for me that I don't know would have ever happened without going through what we went through. Because it truly has taught me that I don't have to go to this premiere. I don't have to do this red carpet. I don't have to show up for someone, for a show that they're doing and that they want me to be on there or to do something, so that they can get more clicks or whatever.
Right.
No, I don't do that. I mean, I just canceled going to one this past week. That was a big one. And, but their team kept trying to maneuver the days around. Mm-hmm. And I said, no, that doesn't work. I says, we gave you the days. These are the 2 days that we have. And if you can't make that work, let's revisit in May or June.
Absolutely. There's a lot to be said for peace.
Yes.
And Nashville's that for me a lot. Mm-hmm. I exhale here.
Right.
I drive down my driveway and I go, oh. I mean, I then see all the things I need to be doing, like painting fences and stuff like that.
Right. But I think for people who don't know, you decided to make your move to Nashville. Now, you still have a place there in LA and
Absolutely.
you work there.
She's still a Beverly Hills 90210 kind of girl.
Well.
But what was that? What kind of was the deciding factor for you to make your move to Nashville?
Well, you all went through this with me.
Right.
Yes.
But in 2018, a friend of mine, Harrison, was building an Airbnb here in Franklin in the historic overlay. Mm-hmm. And I just was watching her, and I had been thinking about getting an Airbnb, and that seemed like a fun idea in a place where I would want to visit. Mm-hmm. Right. And I had several long-term friends that lived in Nashville. So she said, oh, the property in front of mine just went on the market. Wouldn't it be fun if we owned the whole property? I said, great, I'm on my way. I went, and the property that she said was on for sale didn't have any backyard, like literally a postage stamp. There was nothing.
Right.
And there's a lot of issue in Los Angeles about Airbnbs shutting down. Mm-hmm. So I thought, boy, that would be hard to sell if it wasn't an Airbnb.
Right.
She said, don't worry about it. Let's go visit my friend Jane in Leaper's Fork. So we made the left on Old Hillsboro, and I
was in love.
I felt something in my chest, which I now know is God.
Right.
But I went, where are we? Where is this? Uh-huh. And I knew that's where it was. And it took a little while to buy the property. I closed escrow in September 2018. I tell you these dates for a reason. November 2018, I lost my house in the Woolsey fire. A complete.
I remember.
Complete, yeah. Mm-hmm. And my kids and I flew here, and you opened your home to us for Thanksgiving.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. I didn't forget. I knew that.
Yeah. So that was one of the most beautiful gifts you gave my family. Oh. Not only your friendship over all these years, but that was the most beautiful gesture, and we felt warm and included, and it was a really, really hard time for us.
But you made it through. I mean, you made it through truly like a warrior.
And it took a lot of years to get through it, to get permits, all the things to rebuild. And by the time I went through it, I emotionally was so crushed by the whole thing. Mm-hmm. I went, I don't think I can do this. And I'm not sure I can live here anymore in Malibu.
Right.
And every time I came to Nashville, everybody was so amazing. They were just so amazing. And I made great friends. And I thought, I feel really good here. Mm-hmm. And I still do. So that's why I decided to make the move.
I love it.
But it has turned out to be a very peaceful decision that you've made. Mm-hmm. And it does feed your peace.
It does. I mean, I have several businesses here as well that sometimes don't feed my peace.
You're like, oh, God.
I rethink that all the time. That barn could be a great guest house, but it's been a lot of fun.
But now your mother came.
Yes.
And a lot of people don't know this, but how old is your mother?
93.
93 and looks amazing.
I've just had her in LA for 3 months, and we were roomies. My apartment.
And that worked out okay.
She's so awesome.
Right.
She's really extraordinary. And she came back, and she likes it better here because she feels more autonomous. When she wants to go somewhere, she asks one of the drivers at her place to drive her, and she can eat when she wants to eat. And she felt very reliant on me, which I understand. Right. So at 93, she's feisty and strong and fabulous.
I love that.
I love that.
I love that.
So now,
that's great.
What you have a lot. you're one of the busiest people in television right now because you're working all the time. What projects do you have coming up?
Thank goodness.
Outside of Young and the Restless.
So by happenstance, Christina Vanti Fisher, who I did God's Table Hollywood with, our podcast, that's been on for the last year. She's a celebrity chef, nutritionist. And so she had me come cook with her one day. And I don't know what happened, but within the first hour, we had like 275,000 people had viewed our recipe. I said, we made whipped cream. I mean, like we didn't even do anything. And we made these vegan things that I could never remember the name of. So I was a little silly in the kitchen because it used to be a strong point for me.
Right.
You know, I had a book called Grandma's Cooking Secrets that was given to me when I was 16, and I wrote every recipe in there I ever did, who was there, the date I made it.
Right.
I went to UCLA Extension for Italian cooking. I mean, I used to cook for like 60 people on Christmas Day. So I was more of an event cooker. I just get an F in dinner. I don't know what it is about dinner. I just can't do it.
Right.
I mean, I can, but it's just not my favorite thing to do.
Right.
So I did a couple more of the cooking segments with her, and people were just finding it funny and entertaining and quick recipes.
Right.
And my boyfriend says to me, you know, I find it ironic that you're doing these cooking segments and you don't cook. I went, really? Just watch me do something with this then. And that's why we called it the lazy cook and the healthy chef. Because I couldn't be lazier. And I watched Martha Stewart for entertainment purposes only. I'm like, oh yeah, she's amazing.
Right.
But there's no way I'm doing 15 steps. Your wife is one of the greatest cooks of all time. And I watch you and I'm like, oh my God, how long did that take you?
This episode is brought to you by Booking.com. Booking.com offers a wide array of hotels and vacation rentals across the U.S., so you can find exactly what you're booking for. There's something for everyone, even those who are impossible to please. Whether you're booking for yourself, your partner, your picky teens, your sleep light, rise early mom, or your high maintenance group chat, you can find exactly what you're booking for. You all know that I have lots of high maintenance people in my family, from my kids to my husband. I mean, it's off the chain. And if we can find our perfect stay on Booking.com, anybody can. Find exactly what you're booking for. Booking.com, booking.yeah. Book today on the site or in the app. It's springtime. We've been doing some traveling and we are always doing some shopping. And that is why I actually love Shopify. You know, my favorite pajamas, I order them with the Shopify button. It is so easy. You literally click on the link, you add to your cart, everything's in there. It is so easy. Shopify is the commerce platform behind millions of businesses around the world and 10% of all e-commerce in the U.S. From household names like Viore, In My Sundays, two of our favorites, to brands just getting started. Get started with your own design studio with hundreds of ready-to-use templates. Shopify helps you build a beautiful online store that matches your brand style. Get the word out like you have a marketing team behind you. Easily create email and social media campaigns wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling. Shopify is your commerce expert with world-class expertise in everything from managing inventory to international shipping to processing returns and beyond. What if I get stuck? Shopify is always around to share advice with their award-winning 24/7 customer support. Tackle all those important tasks in one place, from inventory to payments to analytics and more. No need to save multiple websites or try to figure out what platform is hosting the tool that you need. Everything is all in one place, making your life easier and your business operations smoother. See less carts go abandoned and more sales go with Shopify and their Shop Pay button. Sign up for your $1 per month trial today at shopify.com/Chrisley Confessions. That's shopify.com/Chrisley Confessions. But now, do you only do vegan?
No.
Okay.
So
that's interesting.
Because that's a big thing, folks.
Yes.
Because my friend here, our friend, you've been vegan for a long time.
Well, I'm going to have to say was, because I called myself veganish.
Right.
And although I'm almost all plant-based, my ish,
Right.
is a little fish. So I can't really call myself that anymore.
Right.
And so we're starting to cook some fish. And we always say when we do, our tofu recipes, we always say you can put chicken in there.
Right, whatever.
Gotcha.
Meat,
Okay.
whatever you want.
I love
so,
that.
Yeah. So it's really funny. I don't know what any of the kitchen gadgets are. I don't know what happened. So yeah, we just got picked up.
I love that.
So we're going to start shooting our first season probably in the next month.
Okay.
And,
I love that.
It's just fun. It's just silly. Here's what I love about our business today. We don't have to sit and wait on our couch anymore to be picked or chosen. You get an idea, put your iPhone up, and you can do it.
Yeah,
That's right.
For sure.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
that's amazing.
Because that's what we're doing. Julie's got her cooking show that she starts working on in June.
That's amazing.
Yeah, June. And I feel so different about it today than I would have 3 years ago, because now she gets to have pretty much all the control. She's the one that's kind of controlling what that process is, what meals that she's going to be preparing, where she learned it from, whatever, how she's perfected. And I was shocked that she got that kind of control, because everyone, you may not know that television changes every hour.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the networks always want to have that final say. They want to have that control.
Completely.
And with her cooking show, she's driving it.
Well,
And
that's the same with us, because we had talked earlier about the podcast and what I learned from it, and it was a masterclass in how to do this.
Right.
So we're so used to doing all the pre and post production. We have an editor.
Right.
In fact, when we met with a production company that picked us up, they said, "Oh, so who's your crew?"
Right.
You're
Like me.
You're looking at them. We do everything.
That's amazing, though.
And so, but I've always said to my kids, if you do anything, you better do every single job that goes all the way to the top.
What about
I
always
love
said,
that.
Because then
and
you
it's
know.
so true.
Yeah.
It's so true.
Let me tell you something. I would make the kids, when the crew was there and they were loading trucks, I would say, get that stuff and pick it up and take it over there. Mm-hmm. And, we never have, because like I said, you've been in television way longer than we have. But when we were shooting Chrisley Knows Best, or Growing Up Chrisley, production, they're normally in one area and the talent is in another
100%.
area, and they don't mingle, that way. We never did that. From the first meal that we had on Chrisley Knows Best, I remember Raja setting up downstairs at our house in Georgia. And I said, "Now, where are we eating?" And she goes, "Well, you're eating up here." She says, "Crew eats downstairs." And I said, "No, we don't do that."
Right.
I said, "I have children here." And I said, "And my children are not going to look at these individuals that are here working with us as someone that's working for them."
100%.
And I said, we work together.
But that's a testament to you. My dad was in music, but later in his life directed feature films and nighttime, and was a producer of nighttime television. And I used to spend all my time on the set with him in the booth or next to him holding his script. And I have a very strong memory of being maybe 9 years old, and he was shooting in York in England, because I grew up in London. And I would sit with the cinematographer, Gil, and I would watch him as he would put pantyhose over the lens and show me how he was setting up the shot and lighting. And Gil went on to be the cinematographer for Star Wars and all of those movies.
That's amazing.
So I feel like I got such an incredible education because I was always with the crew.
Yeah,
Right.
you were literally on the job training.
100%.
Yeah.
I mean, my father raised me to produce,
Right.
which is probably why I walk on a set and I'm always like, why is that barn door open? Or why is that,
Right.
I love that.
So what do you attribute your longevity to? What is, if you had to pick one thing?
I'm like wondering if they noticed I'm still there.
Everyone knows you're still in the room.
I think with soap operas, what's so great is they're multi-generational.
Yes.
So there isn't one person who doesn't come up to me and say, oh my gosh, I see you and I see my mom or I see my grandma
Yes.
that we used to watch you. We all grew up together.
Right.
We've had this opportunity. Nighttime shows, movies, it's more of an event. It's Thursday at 10. It's Knots Landing, or I'm showing my age, but whatever show you like, or you go to the movies. But daytime, we come into your life while you're living it.
Right.
So we are truly a part of your lives.
Right. It's kind of reality before reality was reality. It was kind of one of those things because people get invested and they feel like they know you, and they've watched you grow up and your whole life on TV. And so I think there's very much a relatability to what we did, like a reality, because they're like, oh, well, I know you.
Right.
You were in my house every day.
Yeah. And they really know you because they saw you with your family and, the raw moments.
That's right. That's right. So you've gone through so many phases of Young and the Restless. And
so many hair changes.
Right.
And you still look the same. So that's what a blessing. But then you bounced over to Bold and the Beautiful.
I did.
For a minute.
For about 4 years.
Yep. And do you still do that, or do you...
I haven't done that in a couple of years, and they used to shoot across the hall from us. And our studio, TV City, which used to have the CBS sign on it, now that came down for the first time in all those years. And the front part of the parking lot is now a Waymo. Do you have Waymos
Yes.
here?
What is that?
Waymo
The
parking
cars
lot.
where they drive themselves.
Oh,
Yeah,
God,
the electric.
I'm not riding in that.
Well, at first I was like, I'm not so sure about that. And then, Uber Black, which is very expensive.
Right.
And a Waymo is like a tenth of the price of Uber Black.
Right.
And you don't have to talk to anybody.
And listen, here's the thing. I was just in Dallas because I just did CPAC on Friday. And now, in which I now know how to do Uber. Julie put it on my phone and she taught me how to do it.
Oh, it's freeing, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I was in DC when I first used it. And I said, and I was Tracey, I was in such panic mode because I've never had to do any of that. And Julie said, you can do this, Todd. And do you remember what I texted you when I was...
Yeah, he's like, one more thing I've learned to do.
I said,
That's so
can
good.
you believe that I know how to do Uber?
Oh, my. I love Uber, by the way. No disrespect to Uber.
Right.
Yes.
But in Dallas this week, I noticed on my app because I ended up getting this driver and I kept him the whole week that I was there.
You did?
Yeah.
I don't even know how to do that.
But,
you have to teach me.
And it says on the thing now, do you prefer conversation?
Oh, yes, it does.
Yeah, it does. It's on there. It's been on there. Yeah.
And I want to converse. I mean,
Right.
I
Some
do
people
too.
if you're not
don't.
talking about stupid shit. If you're
Well,
talking about
no.
stupid shit, I'm not talking to you.
But do you
And
know
I'll
how
tell
many
you to hush.
times I've gotten a phone call? I'm like, I have to call you back. I'm hearing the life story.
Right.
Or I'm helping the Uber driver through a custody battle.
Right.
I had a great driver in DC who talked about he had a stroke and that how God came to him when he was in the hospital,
interesting.
completely debilitated. And they had already said that he was going to have to go to a nursing home, that he would never recover. And he said that God came to him during his recovery and told him, he said, you will walk again.
Wow.
What?
Wow.
And he went through rehab and is doing great. So I know about him. That's my driver now in DC. And my son Chase said the other day, he goes, who are you doing this Uber thing? And he says, and then you just get these Uber drivers just to stay with you the whole week.
I know
to
that.
drive you
I know.
everywhere.
It's amazing.
And it was almost great.
Most parents aren't aware that 50% of kids suffer from hidden hunger. Hidden hunger can come from picky eating, processed snacks, or even a lack of nutrient-rich soil in fruits and veggies that they eat. So if you have a picky eater or a kid who only wants to eat chicken nuggets, you're likely going to experience big emotions and frequent outbursts, trouble concentrating, and not being able to stay calm. The best way to support their mood and behavior is to give their brain the nutrients it needs for healthy growth and development. That's why I'm obsessed with First Day Daily Multivitamins, one of the first brands with vitamins designed to help fight hidden hunger and nutrient gaps. First Day makes clean, science-backed multivitamins for kids, teens, and adults. I love that First Day is extremely transparent about what goes into their products. No added sugar, no artificial ingredients, no fake dyes, no crushed bones. With just 2 gummies a day, you're boosting your kids' nutrition, mood, sleep, and health. There's 9 essential vitamins for brain and mood support. What really sold me is that First Day works for the whole family. One thing I didn't realize at first is that vitamins shouldn't be a one-size-fits-all. Your nutritional needs change as you grow, and that's why I love that First Day has age-specific daily multivitamins, and they're trusted by over 1 million families. A First Day vitamin is sold every 13 seconds. Clinically absorbable, family safe, actually effective. For a limited time only, our listeners are getting an insane deal. Use code Chrisley to get up to 57% off at firstday.com. That's up to 57% off and a free gift with code Chrisley at firstday.com. After you purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them we sent you. Okay, so you guys know that I have a teenage daughter. We are all about shaving our legs, but she's still trying to get the hang of it. So this was the perfect time for me to introduce her to Flamingo. The women who helped build Harry's found themselves rolling their eyes when other companies were just shrinking men's razors and making them pink. So they decided to shake things up. Flamingo was born to give women shaving solutions made with their bodies in mind. And no pink tax pricing, no mediocre design, no irritation. Just high performance self-care tools that actually look and feel good in women's hands. And their starter set has everything you could need. That's actually what I got Chloe. Whether it's time for an everything shower or even if you just need to shape up your brow lines. I'm actually loving their starter set, and I have gotten this for Chloe. It has the Flamingo's original razor, which is 5 sharp blades at 360 degrees, comfort system that helps protect skin from irritation, a facial dermaplaning razor that sweeps away peach fuzz and exfoliates skin. I actually love their dermaplane razor, and a foaming shave gel, along with a shower holder to keep your razor within reach. So this whole kit is just $7 and shipping free. Yes, you heard that right. You're not paying more just because the razor's pink. You're getting premium performance, thoughtful design, and a fair price. And if you don't love it, Flamingo offers you a 100% money-back guarantee, so no risk. For a limited time, our listeners can get the Flamingo starter set for only $7 at shopflamingo.com/Chrisley. This set includes the Flamingo original razor, 1 5-blade cartridge, a 1-ounce foam shaving gel, and a shower holder. Just head to shopflamingo.com/Chrisley to claim this offer. And after you purchase, they'll ask where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them we sent you.
So my mother discovered Lift Silver specifically for seniors.
Right.
Oh.
Every time she went to the doctor and I was working, she would take Lyft Senior and she'd say, "Oh, my driver was so fabulous." And she'll tell me all the stories about them and how she had this whole conversation the whole time. It was really funny.
Oh, gosh, I love that. I know when I was in LA the last time, you can do request women drivers too. That if you only want a woman to drive you. And I love it.
No,
I always did it.
I
because
like
I'm like,
that.
that's somebody that's out here like hustling, you know?
Right.
Like,
You wanna give
I
them a
love that.
shot.
I like that because, when you're filming, the network handles all that for you. Mm-hmm. And I
don't know from that.
it used to be one of my pet peeves is that they would send a female driver. Mm-hmm. And you know what I would say?
Right.
Why are they sending this female driver to try to lift all this heavy luggage and to get it in there? Because then now I feel obligated to go back there and do that, which I've always done.
Right.
But then in our contract, I would say we could only have male drivers because women cannot lift. I mean, it's like boarding the Titanic with us. I mean, literally, we have had.
Well, it's okay. I'm going to give the women the chance. So
That's right.
Not with a bunch of luggage, but
Right.
if I'm just going around town,
Definitely.
I want a woman to do
But
it.
you know, every time I get Uber in Nashville, I always get a woman. Just naturally.
Because they're the ones working.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh,
there
here we
you
go.
go.
Here we
Saying.
go.
That's right.
Women
So
are
now,
working.
you know, I don't know if you know this, but you're a huge hit, and your show is a huge hit, Young and the Restless, at summer camp.
I have heard.
Yes.
You have a huge,
I have
you have a
Oh my
huge
gosh.
audience.
It is yes.
My son has had, Landon, has had many experiences where he's spoken to rappers who maybe have had an experience at summer camp.
Right.
Yeah.
And he got into a conversation with this fabulous artist who had had the same experience, and he said, "Oh, why do you live in LA?" And they got around to what I do,
Right.
And he was like, "Your mother's Lauren Fenmore? Oh my God, we all watched her." You know, I just love those stories.
Oh yeah, it was a huge deal. Like,
I mean, I would walk by the TV room, and you'd see all these men in there,
I love it.
you know, with their earbuds in, and they're watching you. And I would just laugh and go on about my business.
Right.
But one of them, my buddy VI, he, every day he had a little television out in the tool room where he worked, because that was his job. And so he built him a little case around it, and you know, where it was hidden. And so every day he would run to chow, eat his food, and go back, because he had to watch Young and the Restless. And I would think to myself, there's no way that this guy is literally watching this soap opera. And so we started talking, and I never mentioned your name until I'd been there like 8 or 9 months. And he was talking about a scene or something that had happened that day. And I said, who are you talking about? And he said, Lauren Fenmore. He said, well, you know, whatever her name is on Young and the Restless, Tracey. I said, Tracey Bregman. And he said, yeah, that's her. And I said, I'm friends with her. And he said, no, you're not. And I said, I am friends with her, V. And he goes, Todd, don't start messing with me. This is a very traumatic time, that experience that I'm going through right now. So don't mess with me on that, because I've been in love with her my whole life. And so I had a phone at summer camp. You know, you're not supposed to have
I did not know that.
those. Yes, well, you're not
Otherwise,
supposed to
I would have been contacting.
But, you know, I paid better than the BOP did, so I paid the guards to keep mine hidden. But I pulled it out one night, and I went to my Instagram, and I showed him a picture of me and you. And from that point on, I was his best friend. If I needed something fixed, he came down there and fixed it. If I
my
needed
God.
something that I didn't have, he found a way to make sure I had it.
I love it.
And so I told him that I was going to be doing this podcast. And I said, I'm going to have her to say hello to you, and to let her know that that you possibly are her future fiance.
Hello, VI. Thank you for all the messages coming through the Chrisleys.
But he is such a huge fan, but not just him. It is really crazy. And Julie and I talked about this when we got home. I said, it is insane at the following that Young and the Restless still has after all these years.
And a lot of athletes and musicians as well, because if you think about it, they're up all night and they're just getting up around 11:30.
Yep.
But back in the day when I started in the 80s, people were putting all their college, scheduling their college classes around all the soap operas.
Yes.
You know?
Isn't that crazy?
I know. I mean, when people would call me at 2 p.m., I literally would answer the landline.
Yes.
Who dares to call me during General Hospital?
Well, you know, Savannah just did a kind of like a me tour for herself. And she went to Amsterdam, to London.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
To Paris,
Switzerland.
Italy.
Wow. How long was she gone?
Yeah, like 3 weeks.
3 weeks.
Wow.
And,
I remember you telling me.
yeah,
she
yeah.
was doing that.
And so she called one day and she said, Dad, can I FaceTime you? And I said, yes. So she FaceTimes me and she says, what is this? You remember the story?
Yeah.
She said, what is this? It was a landline.
What is this?
Yeah.
And you just said landline, so that triggered that thought.
Right,
And
exactly.
I said, what? She said, what is this? How do I use this?
There's a cord.
And I looked at her and I said,
it's still charging.
I said, Savannah, please don't be this dumb.
But think about it.
She's never had one.
No.
Right.
And so I said, and this was a rotary dial.
Oh,
That's what made it.
And that's what she couldn't figure it out. And I said, put your finger in 0.
Was she trying to call
Because she's trying to call
downstairs?
room service to get ice. And I said, put your finger in 0. And she did. She said, yes, could I need the bottled Cokes in my fridge and I need some ice, please. Oh my God, this is the cutest thing. I'm going to get one of these for my home. It was like nostalgic for her, and I'm like, we really are old.
It's like cursive.
Yeah.
It's going to be our secret language.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
so
None of the kids can read it.
No.
Why do they not teach it?
Write it.
They don't teach them. And you remember when we were going to school, you had to pass that. Mm-hmm. That was something that you had to get a grade on.
Yeah.
But don't they learn how to do a signature then? Or
That's
is
what
everything
they
printed?
don't. They don't. Grayson, I would say to him, Grayson, people won't like your autograph. You got to be able to sign your name.
Right.
But I mean, think about it. Everything
But do you know how
is.
Grayson learned to sign his name? Watching Tom Brady and him do autographs.
And he just
really funny.
scribbles it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, that is horrible. It's horrible.
And this
That's
woman,
part of who we are.
Yeah,
Right.
Writing.
signature.
Yeah.
and this woman here has one of the most beautiful handwritings that you have ever seen.
My mom too.
I mean, her handwriting. I had an aunt who's, God rest her soul, she's passed away. My Aunt Jane, whose handwriting was exquisite. This one is just like that.
Do you know, my ex-husband used to say I must have been a monk in a former life because I'm like all over it.
That's me.
I actually have a very love-hate relationship with makeup because I love it, but I hate when I have to use so many different products. And that's why I'm obsessed with Jones Road. Jones Road actually enhances your skin instead of masking it with layers of makeup. Plus, it gives you that effortless, natural look that you're looking for. The Miracle Balm is replacing multiple steps in my routine. You can use it as a highlighter, bronzer, blush, lip tint. It's the ultimate no-fuss multitasker. And also, there's no brushes, no complicated routine. Just use your fingers and go. That gives you that your skin but better glow in under 60 seconds. The best part of Jones Road Beauty is all of their products are actually good for your skin. Every formula is packed with skin-loving ingredients. Jones Road doesn't just have their famous Miracle Balm. They've built a full lineup of effortless skin-first staples, just like their Just Enough Tinted Moisturizer, a lightweight, non-comedogenic formula that smooths an even skin tone with soft touch of coverage. It's packed with skin-friendly ingredients to keep skin moisturized without clogging pores. And I actually loving their brand new product, which is the Lip Recharge. It is going to be your next holy grail. Lip Recharge is a powerful lip treatment that refreshes, smooths, and hydrates on contact while nourishing lips over time. It delivers the comfort of a balm, the benefits of a treatment, and the soft shine of a light gloss in one effortless step. Modern day makeup that's clean, strategic, and multifunctional for effortless routines. For a limited time, our listeners are getting a free shimmer face oil on their first purchase when they use code Chrisley at checkout. Just head to jonesroadbeauty.com and use code Chrisley at checkout. After you purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them we sent you. Okay, I want to take a minute to share something really important to me, and that's Good Girl RX, a female-focused health and wellness company created by my daughter, Savannah. As women, we so often put everyone else first and ignore our own health, or we're just told to push through instead of being truly listened to. What I love about Good Girl RX is that it's built around real medical care and compassion. Through their telehealth platform, women can meet virtually with licensed medical providers who take the time to review your health history and goals. If it's clinically appropriate, your provider may discuss personalized treatment options, including GLP-1 medications like tirzepatide, as well as wellness therapies such as NAD. Everything is determined by a doctor and tailored to the individual. As a mother, it means everything to me that this company was created to help women feel supported instead of judged. Everyone's journey is different. Results vary, and not everyone qualifies, but having access to licensed physicians who truly listen can make all the difference. If you're ready to take a step toward prioritizing your health, visit goodgirlrx.com and use code CONFESSIONS15 for 15% off at checkout. Medical care is provided by licensed physicians. Even Chloe, who's 13, now she can probably write in cursive a little bit better than Grayson can, even because he did more online school, so he really was like computer the whole time, whereas she's been in more of a traditional school. But still, it's crazy to me. But they're like, why do we need that? Why do we need? Well,
I mean, I don't know. There's because we're still talking about journaling.
Yeah,
we're still talking about writing,
right?
But we're losing. We're also losing a communication piece. With these kids.
There's no intimacy in it.
Right.
Well, think about it. There's not going to be any love letters. Think about that.
And I used to get a lot of those.
Oh, my God.
Back in the day.
No love letters.
Now I just get dick pics and stuff like that on Instagram. So.
Same.
Just gone.
No, I'm kidding. Did you see what happened to me yesterday with the Chelsea Handler thing?
I was laying in bed last night and I said, because I really don't go on people's social media. I just scroll to see what pops up.
Right.
And she told me, I said, that's what I was saying to you. I said, what happened with Tracey?
Right.
You said, I don't know yet.
Yeah.
So she was going on saying, I'm going to start helping people find good men. For, here are some good men. She should start
with herself.
I think she has a boyfriend who want relationships. Here, I'm going to start this new dating app. It was all in fun.
Right.
So she puts up pictures of these guys, and one of them is in a suit with a bride. And I'm like, oh, isn't that cute? He's the father of the bride. That's why. The next thing he writes, never had children, never been married. I'm like, oh, who's that?
Right.
The next slide is of a guy with a girl in a bikini, but there's an emoji on her face that someone who was, I guess, did the deep dive in his bio. That was his daughter. I'm like, are you kidding me? Guys, let me tell you right now, no woman wants to see you with another woman.
Right.
And really, you're going to put your daughter up in a bikini in your dating app? We don't want to see you with a fish.
No.
Mm-hmm.
And I was talking about one of my friends, who I'll tell you later because who it is. It was really funny. She was sent a picture from a guy who was sitting in the bathroom. And unfortunately for him, there was a mirror behind him. So we knew where he was sitting. Let's just say, no bathroom selfies. No.
I don't even know why someone would think that that's even attractive or appropriate.
It's so funny to me. And then a lot of the women started sending me pictures of what these guys' pictures are on their dating apps. I was so horrified that I went on and said, all right, guys, send me your pictures. I will help you. I mean, I'm about to do this show that I was telling you that I'm hosting about what men really think. So it kind of fits into what happened online. But the amount of people who said, you are right on. One woman called me a Karen. I was like,
and she's a Karen for calling you a Karen.
Right. I was like, I'm not saying you're terrible people. I'm saying if you want to do a dating app and if you want any kind of traction, let me help you.
Right. Have a decent photo without a child in it or another woman.
Yes.
Where you are dressed appropriately.
And here's a big tip. A dog or a cat, preferably adopted, in your picture.
Right.
That'll be a big draw.
Right.
So I was just...
with dogs.
It's just, I mean, I don't know. I mean, we talk about it a lot. We
have talked about it a lot because it's crazy to me. Todd was out in Dallas and he said when he came back that like everywhere he went, there were men his age and older, but they were with these women
that was Savannah's age. And I went to this little French restaurant with a group of my guys that I'm doing business with out there, and so there's like 5 of us sitting there, and I looked up at the one guy and I said, "Did you bring me to God's waiting room?" And the food was great, but these older men kept coming in, and like older than me, and like I'll be 58 next week, and they had these young girls on their arm. And I'm looking around and I said, what is going on? He said, oh, don't worry, give it 45 minutes. It'll get really pretty in here in about 45 minutes. And sure enough, about 45 minutes, the place was covered with beautiful girls. But they were all with men my age or older. And I said, what is going on with all of this? And they're like, the one guy said, listen, it's Dallas.
I think it's
in Dallas,
everywhere,
you have a starter wife. He says you have an intermediate, and he says then you have a closer.
Then you've got the closer. So I was having dinner. This is years ago. I've been with my boyfriend for 3 years now.
Whose, by the way, name is Todd.
Yes. In homage.
There you go.
And it was with my best guy friend, Dr. Bill Dorfman, who I'm doing this show with. And we were having dinner with two of the top plastic surgeons in Los Angeles. And we're sitting at dinner, and one of them's with his beautiful 27-year-old wife. He's older than you. And the other one's even older and was marrying his 30-year-old girlfriend, who, by the way, they were lovely.
Yeah.
Lovely, lovely, lovely women. And I'm sure this is true love, soulmates, the whole thing. And they looked at me and said, I can't believe you're single. And I said, this table is why I'm single.
Exactly.
This table is the why.
True.
But
so true.
I don't want to be with someone that is the same age as my child.
Yeah, that would be really weird because I've dated younger as well.
Right.
And it was more fun. I mean, for me, maybe it's my ego. I would rather be with somebody age appropriate, that when I make a joke, they actually know what I'm talking about.
That you listen to the same music.
Yeah.
Right.
Or you remember certain movies
Right.
and stuff like that. And I just feel like that for me, like Julie and I have been together for 30 years. She knows what I'm going to eat. She knows where I'm going to go. She knows what I'm going to wear. She knows everything about me. And I love that comfort level that comes from that.
Yeah.
And I just can't imagine be driving down Pacific Coast Highway listening to the Eagles and them go, what is that?
Right.
I would be,
exactly.
I'd say, get out.
Well, like my ex-husband was 11 years older and my boyfriend's 9 years older. But I mean, I think that's okay. Our kids are the same ages, you know, and it's great that he's been married. I was married, that we have children, and now the kids know each other. And actually, he's going to be a grandpa any minute with a little girl as well. So our grandchildren, our granddaughters are going to be a year apart.
Oh,
I love that.
I'm very excited for him.
Yeah.
Very excited.
But do you not, I mean, because you just touched on it, how big of a part of that is a vanity issue?
Well, it's true because I dated somebody 8 years younger than me, and it was difficult in a way because he was part of this group that would paddleboard and jet surf. And I don't do that. I don't love to be in an ocean, I'll be honest.
I don't like to be in the water because I'm afraid of what's in it.
100%. I'm good in a jacuzzi for about 5 minutes. That's my favorite body of water.
Right.
I love to look at the ocean.
Me too.
I just don't feel the need to be in it.
That's
right.
me.
So all the girls were around his age and like the most beautiful bodies. And I honestly don't understand the dental floss up the tush.
No.
I don't care how beautiful your body is. I don't want to see a tush.
No.
I don't want to see your tush.
Right.
Just wear a regular bathing suit. They're revealing enough, I feel.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
But that's just me. Maybe I'm old-fashioned. Anyway, that was kind of a hard thing. I felt like, oh, God, I can't compete on an athletic level. And, they're his age, probably, they could have babies with him.
Right.
And it kind of was hard for me. So maybe it was a vanity thing. I also think that women get fed up with men. And a lot of women that are older that are single, or it's not, oh, you poor thing. They're like, no, I am
good.
so good.
Yeah.
And I tell my kids all the time, look, at the end of the day, if all this doesn't work out, it could just be the Chihuahua and me for the win. And she cuddles. She is the best spooner of all time. She is great company.
Right.
You know?
Right.
But you do it, and as we age, and I speak from my perspective as a man, I like my company. I like being, by myself, which I never really did. I always wanted Julie to be right there with me, and I still do. But I mean, like, I'm good, being at home by myself. If she's going out for the day or she's going shopping or whatever, no, I'm good. I'll stay here.
My boyfriend and I are very independent, and
Right.
I really love that.
I do too.
Yeah,
and
we are too. Very much so. Like, we know we know we're coming home to each other, but
Right.
like, I don't have to be around you 24/7.
That's right.
Like, I have things that I need to do and that I want to do. I don't need you to do
Right.
that.
I don't need to talk to you 10 times a day either.
Right.
We probably talk
A lot.
a lot.
But you have a family together.
Right.
That's completely
Yes.
different.
But like, I don't feel the need to go check in with her that I'm going to go have lunch with someone, or she's going to go have lunch with
No.
someone, or, I'm going to go do this and I'm going to go buy that. I'm not checking in. I am 58 years old. I don't have a boss. I know
Right.
how to handle myself, and I know what I'm going to do.
But one of the favorite things about my marriage that I loved when I was married is the unpacking of the day at the end of the day.
Right.
When you get to see each other and talk about everything that happened and put all the puzzle pieces on the table and, figure them all out together. Right. I love that part.
Yeah.
Yeah. For sure.
And, Julie and I, we talk about everything. There's nothing that we don't talk about. And that's a great thing to have in your life.
That's a beautiful thing.
That's a great thing to have in your life. And
the fact that you guys still like each other, too.
yes.
Yeah, well, he didn't like me this morning because the shower's clogged, and it was my fault that the shower's clogged, because he said my hair comes out. I'm like,
Tracey,
Todd?
how is it my fault? Is it my fault? Does anybody want their hair to come out? No, they don't.
Tracy,
Todd, you need to learn how to unclog the shower.
I do. It's called Busy Bee Plumbing. And they're there now. But I had just had them there 2 months ago.
Okay, well, I've been gone for a month, so it wasn't me.
No, I was already doing that
Oh
then.
my gosh. Okay, my fault then.
We were just talking about the other day, because we're getting ready to start construction on a new house, and I was saying to Jess, all the kids, you're like, we're going to have this great one-level, beautiful home with a pool in the center.
Oh, nice.
And, whatever. And then I was talking to the architect, and I'm like, I don't know, because I've got so many kids, and I need to have a place for them to come home to. And I'm kind of feeling like that this one-level thing, there's not enough distance between the rooms for you to have privacy. And so I just don't know if I'm going to be able to do that. Maybe we'll just have all of our stuff on the first floor, and then we'll go ahead and have a second floor.
Which is such an East Coast thing, to have the primary bedroom on the first floor, which
Yes.
I've now come to love.
Right. I
love
But
it
maybe
too.
you have one wing that's your wing,
Right.
and then the other side is all the rest of the bedrooms.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, but we were talking, and I said to Julie, you know what? I'm not going to worry about this. We're going to build this house for us. They'll have a room. It may not be exactly what they want, whatever, but they'll have a room. And so Julie was talking to me about Grayson, and she said, and I said, and this will be, she said, well, this will be Chloe's room. And I said, I think I'm going to make that Grayson's room. I said, because it has its own separate living room and whatever. And Julie goes, no, she said, Grayson's not coming back home. She said, he's in college. When he gets ready to, when he finishes college, I feel like Grayson's going to want to be on his own. I told him this, and he lost his mind. He said, what is wrong with her? What is wrong with her? I have to have a room. I have to have a place to come home to. I picked up that phone, and I called her, and I said, it's back to square one.
Oh my God.
So now I'm doing
that's
them
so
all.
funny.
Now I'm doing them all suites
Yeah.
where they'll have
I'm
their
like,
own space.
Okay, I can't get him to come home from college. So surely
so
when he graduates, he's not going to want to come home.
And then this morning I was standing there shaving. I had it on speakerphone because he calls me every morning. And Julie was sitting there doing her makeup, and he had said to me, he goes, Dad, I know he says, hey, pal. He sent me a message yesterday. He said, hey, pal. He said, I think you should let the lady that runs the house know that I will be arriving for Easter break, for Easter holiday, and for your birthday. Make sure that she stocks the house in accordance to what I like. And so I told her, I said, Grayson's coming home. You make sure he has everything that he wants. And so then he sends me a message. He goes, hey, pal, for my Easter basket. Now, he's 19, he'll be 20 in May. Yeah. He said, for my Easter basket, he said, a Rolex would be great.
Right, I thought like AirPods.
He said, a Rolex would be great.
Of course, your son.
I give them one at 21. That's when I gave them their first Rolex. And so he's like, but Dad, I mean, I'm the baby. You can speed it up a year. And I said, no, we're sticking to the 21.
It's got to be 21.
It's got to be 21.
That is so cute.
So, I mean, but he's such a sweet soul. But
all your kids are.
That we've been blessed. They're very sweet. They're very sweet. Mm-hmm. So now tell me, you're going to shoot your new show in LA,
right? Which I need help with the name,
right? Because
right now it's about, I'm hosting a show about what men really think,
right?
So it'll be a lot of my reaction. I'm going to try not to, I said there's not enough Botox to put in my face for me not to react to what men really think. Yeah. To be honest with you,
what is it that you think men really think?
That's a very interesting question. It's, I think, how they think. Uh-huh. I really believe that, I always say, God, why did you make us so different?
Yeah. Right.
Because we really do think so differently. But if you think about it, we're kind of the yin and the yang. We do fit together. Mm-hmm. There's your thoughts and our thoughts. And,
right.
But I think certain men need just some help. And I'm here to try and help you.
I saw an interesting statement the other day. This guy, he's a psychologist, and he was talking about the difference between men and women, as various as they are. And he said that men, when they have a task at hand, will uberly focused on that one task.
Because men need that task.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And said that men are not great at multitasking, but that women are greater at multitasking because you're dealing with children, you're putting a meal on the table, you're doing laundry, a lot of people are working and still having to do all that, like my mother was. And so you score much higher in the multitasking level than men do. Mm-hmm. But men score higher in being able to focus more intently.
And finish something A to Z.
Yes, that's right.
I'm in constant changing hat mode. I always say that my ADD is my superpower.
Right.
Because I can change at a drop of a hat, basically, and focus on that, then focus on that, then focus on that. But if you ask me to organize a room, if you have any kind of OCD, you cannot watch me. I will finish up strong, but I'm the kind that, okay, I put that over there. Oh, now that needs organizing. Then I'll organize that. Then I'll go back to where I was, and then I'll make an appointment for the dentist.
That's me. Yeah, that's me. That's me. We're the same.
I told her this morning, my Louis Vuitton duffel was sitting there on the floor, and it had my travel blanket in it and my pillow for the plane. And I had told her the other day, I said, Julie, that blanket stuff needs to be washed before the bag's put back up. Okay. And I walked by it for 2 days, and it was sitting there. So I walked by this morning, and I said, I can wash that blanket and that pillow in that travel bag. I know, I'm going to do it. I said, but you say that as if you're offended that I have reminded you for the third time that it's still in that bag. So she turns right around with the attitude, goes and unzips it, takes the blanket out, takes the pillow out, goes and puts them in the wash, and she comes back to the bathroom. She goes, your things are in the washing machine.
So Todd.
Yes.
The second time you walked by it, why didn't you just do it?
Well, because I had actually just folded 2 loads of laundry and was bringing them into the bathroom to put them away.
And then you could have gone and put your towel.
But then I feel like that eliminates her having the ability to do something for me.
I bet you there's a list of things that we could figure out of what she could do for you that might be mutually beneficial.
I will say, Todd will do laundry, and he does not really mind doing laundry, but that's what he's going to do. And it's exactly what you said. He is solely focused on that, and that's all. And then he's like, how do I keep this laundry room like this? And you're like, I said, well, I've dropped off Chloe to school. I picked her back up. I've made these appointments. Went to the grocery store. I've got dinner going. In addition to laundry,
all of that.
You have done laundry, and I am appreciative of it. But you've done that one task. So exactly, you're right on the money, Tracey. You're right on the money with it.
But you see, you did that one task and you did it well.
Exactly.
And see, once
you've done everything else.
That is pretty much the truth. That is pretty much the truth. Well, you know that we love you dearly and are always so proud to call you our friend.
Thank you. Same.
I get so many questions, Tracey, from people saying, how many of your celebrity friends stuck around after everything you guys went through? And we didn't really lose any. I mean, the people, because you know how tight our circle is. I mean, you of all people know how tight this circle is. We're still friends with all the same people. Mm-hmm. But literally, you were one of the first. Jay was first. And then you were second, messaging, I wanted to give you a minute to let you get settled. I'm here. If you need something, let me know. Love you, whatever. And that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah,
that is a beautiful thing to be able to have those kind of relationships in your life.
Not from just us being away, but like a friendship where you can go and not speak. And, we keep up with each other through social media, whatever. Mm-hmm. But then when we do, you just feel like not a moment's passed.
Right.
And I think that's the true tale of a friendship,
100%.
Is to be able to do that.
Like we sat at that lunch, like no time had passed.
Yes.
Right.
But I really want to thank your son, Chase, for, we stayed in contact the whole time, and he really helped me through the whole thing. I wanted to contact you. Mm-hmm. He said not to. Mm-hmm. To do it through him, and I know he gave you my messages.
Yes, he did. Yes. Well, the reason, because so many of our friends, we're a little bit bitter at a certain point because they wanted to send me stuff or they wanted to write me or whatever. And I said no. And the reason for that is because the staff there were such window lickers. I mean, they literally were so ignorant that they wanted to see my mail. They wanted to see who was writing me.
That's what he had said.
And there was just no privacy.
And I was not giving them that.
And it wasn't fair to our friends either, I feel like, because it's just...
It was hard. It was hard not being able to talk to you. It was hard not to be able to write to you and, all those things.
But, we survived it. We're stronger and better for it.
100%.
And this, we came home to the same people that we left, minus Nick.
Right.
And
that was so
that was hard. That was a hard thing. That was the hard.
Gosh.
I say that I've had some things in my life that have been difficult, but for the most part, I've had a very beautiful life. When I look back over my life, I've had moments I try to break mine down into generational. Or a decade. What was great in this decade and what was really bad in this decade.
Right.
And my good outweighs the bad. But my real bad was Julie being diagnosed with breast cancer in 2012 and then losing my dad months later. That was 2012, and then we found out that our CFO had embezzled $6 million from us. So 2012 was a bad year. Mm-hmm. But I look back now and I think that was God's prep for what he knew we were going to have to go through.
Wow.
But I will tell you that as hard as Julie's was, and that was my hard, losing my dad was very traumatic. But my dad lived a long life. So I remember saying he was diagnosed with liver cancer, Julie was diagnosed with breast cancer.
Wow.
And for so long after that, I really fought with myself because I had prayed a prayer, got down on my knees in my office, and I said, God, if you have to take one of them, don't take Julie. And then Daddy died like 3 months later. And I remember thinking, did I pray for my daddy to be taken?
Oh, wow. Yeah.
By the way that I had said that prayer. Losing Nick was almost like losing one of your own children.
Well,
for
he
me.
was so close to both of you. And
Right.
Yes.
And
know.
I love him to this day. And, Savannah and I will send, because your memories will pop up on your phone. And every week there is a memory that pops up that he's in it on my
wow.
phone. And I'll just look at his smile and I'll send it over to her and she'll go, oh my God, I miss him. And so, that was the hardest thing that we had to go through during the time we
Right.
were gone because, I emailed with him every day.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, every day. And Savannah had gotten on the plane to come and see me that Saturday. And when she got off, the pilot told her.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. She and I texted through that time because
Yep.
she knew that I knew him.
Yep.
Right.
And it's been time.
And that was the hard.
Yeah.
That was the hard.
was.
But we survived it.
That's right.
And, I think about him every day and I continue to talk about him because he's going to always be a part of my life. But we've been blessed. We've come home. The Bible tells you that he will restore you and he will redeem you. And he has done that.
Yes.
And so I'm grateful for that. And I'm grateful that you're here today.
Yes.
And I love you dearly.
I love you dearly.
Before we go,
Yes.
Young and the Restless, we know
Yes.
we can always find you on Young and the Restless.
Young and the Restless.
You're going to have your cooking show.
Yeah, The Lazy Cook and The Healthy Chef is on YouTube.
Okay.
It's on there right now, but the new season will be coming.
Perfect.
And
then
also
you,
on Instagram.
and then you also have your new show.
The new show that we need a title. Right now it's for men, for women about what men think, but we need a snappier title.
Yes.
Please send me ideas.
Well, we are so excited for everything that you're working on.
Thank you.
Thank you
It's
so much, and we
fun.
love you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Love you guys so much.
Until next week, good luck and God bless.
This episode of Chrisley Confessions 2.0 is brought to you by Booking.com. Booking.com offers a wide array of hotels and vacation rentals across the U.S., so you can find exactly what you're looking for. There's something for everyone, even those who are impossible to please. Find exactly what you're booking for. Booking.com. Book today on the site or in the app.